But I think especially for the general population who might be that person who's only going to do those 2 sessions per week that last 15 minutes of lifting weights, the weight neutral approaches are just a potential gold mine,
Yeah.
because they've been in and off the hamster wheel of dieting unsuccessfully, and sometimes to their harm. That if we can get them to the point where they're focused on, okay, we've gotten you to a body weight or a body fat that seems to also look good as far as your health when we look at it objectively at markers and your physical capacity. Now let's look at something weight neutral for life. I think that is really, really important in a conversation that, yeah, needs to be happening more often.
It absolutely needs to be happening more often because, I mean, the health benefits of lean body mass to some degree, obviously, it tapers off at a certain point when you get too crazy, but the health benefits are really, really exciting. I mean, I'm almost looking at it currently as using bodybuilding to kind of build up stores of lean body mass for later on because, late 30s going to start dropping off if it's not already. So that's really how I'm looking at it now. And that's why I'm trying to get across that kind of minimalist approach, not necessarily for the
Mhm.
sake of, doing the minimal, but for the sake of these people that think that it takes everything they have to build muscle and improve their health. It really doesn't. So
No, that's well said. There's and I'm parroting Dr. Ben House, who's kind of done some of the legwork and looking at this. We had him on Iron Culture to talk about it, but somewhere around like a 20 fat-free mass index is where you start to get most of the observable health benefits from resistance training. That's not that high by any means for a male. I don't think we have good data on women, but most men who lift weights for 6 months will probably be above that if they're doing it with any kind of progressive nature and consistency. Um, so yeah, it's quite a low barrier to entry if you just want to be able to get minimal negative effects from sarcopenia, like you said, store it up for once you start to have it. And if you keep resistance training, like the sarcopenia data that starts to happen, like you said, in middle aged, that gets delayed by decades. Like if you look at the natural bodybuilding pro division at world champs, that's like the highest, like WBF worlds or IPE worlds. There's a good solid 50% of the guys up there who are in their 40s, if not early 50s, competing at the highest level, just to show how long that peak can last before you start to have age be a stronger signal than the stimulus from resistance training. So yeah, and most natural bodybuilders will tell you that kind of your golden era where you hit your peak gains if you started lifting at that same time when most of us did in our 20s or teens is your 30s and 40s. So I think that's just something that is quite encouraging.